Hello, Watem here. Welcome back to small Umineko When Seagulls Cry, and we're going back to the answer half, so episodes 5 to 8. Good morning. As the story crosses into its second half, the tales woven by the Golden Witch have been exhausted. All that remains now is to understand them. Perhaps new game masters can offer a fresh perspective. So I wonder how Umineko will handle its answer. Perhaps differently than Higurashi. I wasn't expecting that laugh. Please wait a moment. Okay. Episode 5 it is. Please enjoy the new game. Come on, please enjoy the new game of its new game master. I say that, but the game has already reached its climax. The culprit has been cornered, and merely awaits checkmate. I'm sure there will be something you can spot from this clearer perspective. The difficulty is fairly easy. What could possibly fool you now? End of the Golden Witch. The story is undoubtedly nothing more than fantasy. Possibly have any relation to real persons. Yep. Sounds like waves.
このバカが
Hello.
決まっておろうが殺したらそなたが歪めるだろうその表情が楽しいからの他に何の理由が必要なのかほらほら目をつむらずにちゃんと見ろよ
I'm confused. What?
ほらほらほらほら魔法だよ家具だよそなたがどんなにわらわや魔法の存在を否定しようともほらほらほらほらほらほら悪いなバトラー結構面白かったぜしかしお師匠様の言う通りにしてみたんだが本当に結構いいとこまで行けたな
Also, I'm wondering, which... Because in what was it, Higurashi? There's definitely for each answer episode, well, chapter, there was a clear equivalence in the question ones. I wonder if that'll be the same, or if there's some differences still.
何でもツンツンと残虐を尽くした後に程よくへたれて出れてみせると好感度ってやつが大幅アップするんだろ
That lonely tone was the desolate sound of the wind blowing by. The glittering rose petals on these bushes were all golden. The cloud of gold butterflies that had once danced through this golden rose garden like a flushing rose petal, no longer anywhere to be seen. The master of the golden lamps is the golden witch Beatrice. Might be called inhumane and cruel, arrogant and outrageous, or perhaps naive and simple. That laugh of hers, which lost its grace more and more the longer it continued, could no longer be heard. The Golden Witch Beatrice sat like a doll, resting in a decked chair adorned as beautifully as the golden rose garden itself. She wasn't relaxing there. Her eyes were empty. She didn't respond to any questions. Even so, she was not permitted to sleep. Beatrice sat like a doll. Her hair was down, and Virgilia was carefully tending to it with a comb. The usual Beato would surely, as spent this time complaining about this and that regarding her hairstyle. However, she made no response, showed no reaction. So it really only looked like Virgilia was combing the golden hair of a large doll. There was a table alongside them. On it sat a chessboard, along with a jumble of black and white pieces locked in a closely fought battle. However, this setup looked somehow different from normal chess. Maybe the game was similar, though not identical. And on the other side, sitting back in his chair as he contemplated his next move, was a young man. No, perhaps it wasn't his next move he contemplated. Every once in a while, he would change the position of the pieces, reconsidering the situation after every change. Maybe he was reconstructing previous games, trying to discover the thought process behind the moves that had been made. Past, Shinzo, the Ushiromiya family head, once said that learning chessboard arrangements was like taking a journey through the thoughts of her old masters. Ushiromiya Battler was on a journey. Searched for the thought process that had led the Golden Witch to create this arrangement and make these moves. Battler took a black piece that should have been moved forward, but returned it to its original place, sighing deeply. Battler's pieces were white. However, on this chessboard, black encampment was on Battler's side, because he spun the chessboard around again. He was reconstructing that arrangement, trying to play Beate's role.
お前の指し手はやればやるほどに理解できねえぜ。
I feel like that didn't actually correct voice volume. No. Say 5 prologue was where we're currently at.
後ろ宮バトラだ。
Fine level. Even Battler didn't expect that Beato would respond to that statement. Or rather, he was pretending to talk to himself, thinking there might still be some chance of her responding. Beato's eyes reflected nothing. Her mouth told nothing. Interesting. After begging him to kill her, the Golden Witch had become a corpse that had given up on life. He wasn't sleeping. She couldn't step down from this game, and was therefore forbidden sleep. Those words must have reached her ears. However, they probably hadn't reached her heart. The Golden Witch would not sneer at Battler's moves, nor would she praise them or belittle them. And now, Beatrice was nothing more than a living doll. And so, she would glance at him every once in a while. It would be an empty glance, but a glance nonetheless. Sometimes, she would seem to make some sort of gesture, or even move her lips. However, her movements never managed to communicate anything to Battler.
どうやったらこの局面でこの指し手になるわけだ。わけがわからねえんだよ。お前の指し手はよ。
ベアト
I feel like you're doing an asymmetric game. So rather than chess, you're trying to apply chess moves to like checkers or something. I feel like that's a better analogy. You don't know what your opponent's goals are necessarily, all the information we have available to you. Perhaps a better example would be if Beata was playing chess, but Battler thought they were playing checkers, and so not realizing different pieces, kind of. Feel like that kind of works?
バトラ君が話しかけていますよ。
なんとか言えよ。
It was not said in blue.
クスクスとかゲラゲラとか。いつもの黄色い笑いでいいから。
Can you believe it? That shrill laugh of Beato's will never be heard again. However, even if she couldn't answer, his voice surely reached her. That was what Battler believed as he said these words. So he said it again.
"どうやったらこの局面でこの指し手になるわけだ。わけがわからねえぜ。お前の指し手はよ。
この子の考えることはわけがわかりませんか？
Vigilia answered in her disciple's stead. Up to this point, she had done her best to avoid speaking for Beato. After all, there was a chance that Beato would respond in some way, and Vigilia didn't want to be the one to steal that chance. So, Battler was going to have to bear with this silence. But Beato herself answered. Vigilia could no longer bear to watch Battler like this. Besides, Battler also wanted to hear what Vigilia had to say. He believed that conversation would reach Beato's heart.
ああ、さっぱりだな。ベアトの立場になって、こうして駒を動かせば動かすほどにわからなくなる。
Serial murder following an epitaph. That is a victory condition. I tried reconstructing the games from the Witcher's side. I never ended up making the moves Beato did. In those games, I could find several incomprehensible moves that clearly worked against that victory condition. Ah yes. One of her victory conditions being to not win and instead make the game last forever.
さっぱりわからねえ。こいつの思考を探る旅路はあまりに険しすぎるぜ。
でもあなたは投げ出さないのですね。
ああ、約束した。
はい。
俺はこいつを安らかに死なせてやると約束した。そしてそれは俺にしかできない。
Beato's right ankle was bound with a heavy, cold steel shackle. It wasn't tied to anything, so it didn't restrict her movement. However, it symbolized restriction. It was a visualization of the bonds that prevented her from leaving the game until she either won or lost. And the shackle was probably hurting her. Mercilessly cold shackle tormented her over and over inside her waking dream. There was never any sign of relief in her empty expression. Her eyelids would sometimes tremble like she was having a nightmare, and every once in a while she would let out a pained gasp. Unless I win, Beato will never be released from the curse that prevents her from sleeping peacefully.
良いのですか？第5のゲームはもう始まっているようですよ。
So we are going towards the 5th game then.
興味ね。
Oh? Maybe not? Why should I take part in any game unless Beato is my opponent? That's the only alternative. Then it's a much better use of my time to reconstruct previous games while taking a journey in search of Beato's thought process. Maybe we aren't going fifth then. Hello there.
次のゲームマスターは私がやるわ。
Okay.
異存ある？ないわよね。
依存だらけよ。ベアとは戦いを放棄して人事不正。ベアとの不先輩でゲームオーバーでしょ。
確かにベアとはいろいろとあったんで、今はちょっぴりノックアウト気味。
Kind of reminds me how after I think the second game, when Battler was being like reconstructed.
でも戦う気力を失ったわけじゃない。だからつまり私は介助役ってわけ。わかる？
Beato was lying down on a deck chair, almost as though she was sleeping. However, she wasn't sleeping. She wasn't awake either. She was nothing more than a living doll that had given up on victory, who had asked Battler to perform her last rites, and who had surrendered everything. Of course, if everyone just sat around, the next game, the fifth game, would never be made ready. So, Lambdadelta had succeeded Beato as the next game master, and announced that she'd prepare the game.
ふざけるな。これは俺とベアとのゲームだぞ。お前ら、どこの誰か知らねえが、勝手に話を進めるんじゃねえ。
あんたに意見は求めてないわ。どうすんのベル？受けるの？受けないの？
いいわ。あんたが引き継ぎなさい。
なんだと？ふざけるな！お前ら何者か知らねえが、俺とベアとを無視して勝手に話を進めるんじゃねえ。
Oh, I just couldn't do it anyway.
落ち着きなさいよ。確かにプレイヤーが変われば察しても変わる。あんたにとっては戸惑うことも多いかもしれないけど、それでも大きなヒントになりうるでしょ？
知らねえよ。勝手なこと言って仕切ってんじゃねえ。
That face he's making.
ベアとのゲームを4つも繰り返して何もわからないんでしょ。ならプレイヤーが変わるのは大きなヒントになると思うけれど。
大きなお世話だ。これはベアトが用意し、俺を対戦相手に指定した俺たちのゲームだ。どこから湧いてきたのかもしれないお前らにかき回されるのはごめんだ。
ならベアトを起こして次の準備をさせて。できる？
ベアトはしばらく起きねえよ。それに新しいゲームなんて必要ねえ。あいつがこれまでに出題してきた4つのゲームの譜面だけで十分だ。
Sure.
仮に第5のゲームがあるとしても、それはベアトが出題し、俺に挑むものだけで十分だ。お前らには何の関係もない。
Battler couldn't hide his irritation at the two witches called Lambdadelta and Bernkastel, who'd shown up well after the game's start, who were now trying to take charge on their own. Looked like these witches were of an even higher rank than Beato. So high, in fact, that even Beato's teacher, Vigilia, couldn't even come close. Battler had the feeling he'd seen these two several times before. However, this was the first time he'd known their names and spoken to them directly.
ベアトを起こせず、あんたに次のゲームを準備もできない。だから私が次のゲームを用意するわけ。私たちはね、いつ正気を取り戻すかもわからないベアトにいつまでも付き合ってられるほど気が長くないの。ね、ベルン？
退屈はごめんなの。イライラするほどに。
お前が退屈がろうが、俺たちは知ったことじゃねえ。
まあまあ、このパーフェクトなラムダデルタ様に任せなさい。私がゲームマスターを引き継ぐ。大丈夫よ。あんまり絶対完璧にはプレイしないわよ。ベアトっぽくわけのわかんないフェイクや尻尾、ボーナスヒントをいっぱい用意してあげる。ベアトの世界をより理解するための大きなヒントにしてあげるわよ。
Letting my voiceless emotions explode, I slammed the table hard. Two witches didn't flinch at all. One grinned, the other looked indifferent, as though nothing had happened. I expected that from her. The two of them just stared at me silently, as though they were reproaching me.
何？不満？あんたは私による第5のゲームを降りるっての？それって不先輩？
バトラは降りないわよ。もちろん第5のゲームにも参加するわ。
勝手に決めるんじゃねえ。お前らに俺は付き合わない。知ったことじゃない。
ならやっぱり不先輩ってことよね。このゲームは魔女側の勝ち。人間は屈服ってことでお開きでいいかしら。
降りるなら不先輩でゲーム終了だけどいいの？
They are the judges.
たった一人残された妹が無限の世界のすべてでたどる不幸な境遇を確定させたいのならそれも選択よ。
When Bianca still mentioned Anja, Battler's expression changed instantly.
てめえ、エンジェのことを気安く口にするんじゃねえ。
She continues to be a very useful piece even after her death. Destruction.
あなたにこの私、奇跡の魔女ベルンカステルが味方しているからこそ、エンジェにはひょっとしたら家族が帰ってくるかもしれない奇跡の余地が残されてるのよ。あなたが自らそれを捨ててエンジェの無限の未来全てを不幸なものに確定するのもまた私には一興だけれども。
I vaguely understood what she was saying. Until I win in Berto's game, I remained trapped in this bizarre world. If I abandoned that victory, then most certainly my parents and I will never return to Angers. For Angers' sake, even though I know that the witch is toying with me, I must keep on fighting.
くそ。
なーに？その不満そうな顔。自分の妹をグズグズのひき肉にされた怒り、もう忘れちゃったの？プチプチブチブチ無数の焼けたペンチで引きちぎって細切れにしていくあの光景。
Ah, Ben Costello, you certainly have a way of words.
今度はちゃんと真正面で見ないとダメ？
Ben Costello pointed with the palm of her right hand upwards. As she did, a pale light gathered there. Some kind of blue glowing crystals appeared there. A crystal. The scene was reflected on its sharp surface. It wasn't the scene that surrounded them now. Look deep into that crystal, that fragment, and you would probably learn what was reflected. Okay. If you stared at it, then you'd surely see the end Anjay finally reached after waiting 12 years and giving up everything for the sake of her beloved brother. scene of her death throes. Her entire body was torn to bits while she still lived. Without thinking, he grabbed at her collar. As he touched that which made up her form, it disappeared like foam on the waves. Then, as naturally as though she'd been there from the beginning, Bernka was leaning against a distant wall.
あなたがゲームを降りるなら
That smile.
これはかけらでなく確定した現実になる。その未来を紡ぐのは私じゃないわ。あなた自身よ。あなたが決めなさい。最愛の妹の未来をどうしたいのかを。
Battler's fists shook with anger. But even if he swung them down, he wouldn't be able to hit Bernka still. The switch was like a phantom, or a cat who wouldn't even let someone pet her if she didn't wish for it. And she was the truth. For Anja's sake, I can't step down from this fight, even if these unpleasant witches hijack the game board.
さすがベルン。脅し方もえぐいわね。そういうことよ、バトラー。あんたにはゲームを降りることなんて許されてないの。あんたもベアとも私たちの退屈を紛らわせるゲーム版のゴマでしかない。あんたのそのわけのわかんない怒りやイラつきさえも私たちには退屈を紛らわす最高のお菓子。まあその程度の怒りじゃ駄菓子程度だけどね。30円で2枚入ってるカレー味のポテトせんべい程度ね。
魔女ともねえ。
エンジェのためにも戦いなさい。そしてベアトのためにもでしょ。
A way that was admonishing, or perhaps babying. The headache you get after eating something too sweet. Bernka still tormented Battler and smiled. By now, the host of this tea party, Beato, was absent. The guest witches were already making themselves at home.
どうすんの？後ろ宮バトラー。運命に屈しちゃう？降りちゃいなさいよ。魔女の駒にして遊ばれるなんてもうごめんなんでしょ？ベルンの駒は辛いわよ。きっとあんたもエンジェみたいに使い捨てにされるわよ。
Shouldn't he be the king?
あなたに降りる選択肢は与えてない。
Yeah, can't let that piece be sacrificed.
妹の未来のために戦い続けるの。
Or unless it's for the sake of her boredom.
私は味方よ。その未来にたどり着けるよう、あなたが勝利するまでサポートするわ。
With allies like these, who needs enemies?
私が退屈するまで永遠に。
I can't let her provocation and cajolery rile me up. These witches know that I get mad easily, and they're trying to take advantage of that. Battler withstood it all. finally relaxed his clenched fists.
第5のゲームとやらが始めたいなら好きにしろ。
好きにするわよ。あれれ、どこ行くのよ。
Even though Battler acknowledged this fifth game, he turned his back on them, much to Lambdadelta's surprise.
お前がベアとの代役を務めるってんなら
Bone can be mine.
そこのベルンカステルとかいう魔女が俺の代役を務めるのも勝手だろ。
道理ね。そうじゃないと不先輩になってしまう。
何よそれ。私が作る渾身のエピソード5をあんた無視するっての？失礼しちゃう。
バトラーはしばらく休憩するそうよ。それまでの間、私がプレイヤーの代役を務める。
Interesting.
それでどう？バトラー。
そうしやがれ。
Alright guys, I'm off. I'm gonna let Pink still handle things. I'll see you when I come back. Yep. Yeah, I can't get Pink still to do the videos for me, right?
なに？ラムダ。間抜けなバトラーじゃなくて、私がプレイヤーだと遊んでくれないの？
Don't have to hit him that hard.
そんなわけないわ。ベルンと一緒に遊べて嬉しいわよ。さあ遊びましょう。ラムダデルタ様の超ハイパーでキュートに可愛いエピソード5を一緒に遊びましょうよ。
I wonder what Lambdadelta's vision of cute will be.
一応、ベアトの作った世界なのよ。世界観ぶち壊しにしてないでしょうね。
大丈夫だってば。私そういうのの空気は読める方なのよ。ちゃんとベアトっぽい世界観でもっと面白い物語に仕上げてみせたわ。バトラも休憩終わったら早く戻ってくるのよ。見逃すともったいないわよ。ベアトの秘密に迫れるようなボーナスヒントをたっぷり用意してるんだから。と見せかけてミスリード満載でますますに煙に巻く気なんだけどね。ちょっとこらバトラー、魔女の話聞いてんの？
Without answering, Battler disappeared into the darkness. After shrugging and cackling, Witches immediately started playing with the game board they had stolen from Beato. I think I'm gonna end it there on that note. I hope you've all enjoyed. Let me know in feedback.
あの魔女どもにベアとのゲームは理解できるのか？
Let me know any feedback you have in the comments. And until next time, see ya.